This was the cheapest Toyota Aygo in the entire of the world / France. And I'm going to attempt to transform it from a pedestrian turd into a slightly faster and more fun turd for a budget of only €2,500. If you haven't caught up with what we've done so far, it didn't used to look like this. So in the previous episode, we added an exhaust. And prior to that, I've obviously painted it and fixed up some necessary things. In this episode, we need to make it handle better because currently handles like this. Which is just not acceptable. And as everyone knows, handling is super important for having fun, primarily because you can just go fast around them, which is obviously great. So this needs to change. But of course, when you're on a budget, nothing but the best will do. That's why I've opted for the best make of coilovers that money can buy. These are the TA Technix coilover kit, which came in at a princely €300, which I have to add to the budget that's rapidly decreasing. I just don't know if I can do this, but at the same time, coilovers and suspension are a must-have if I'm going to make it faster. Let's go and see if we can fit these. Obviously, I'm not going to do it here. Let's go do that. So I've got the car in the garage, and if you hadn't seen previously, my garage was an absolute state, and I've changed that because I couldn't find any tools, and it was miserable to work in. So I figured I'm going to do a lot more of this sort of stuff. So I cleaned the garage, and now I'm sure you'll agree. Like, look at it, it's beautiful. So I'm going to start with the rears. Why? Because it's easier. It's probably not going to be now, but I've done them before. So let's get the car jacked up and let's start there. So this is the rear setup. If you've never seen these before, it's a shock but separate spring setup. So it's just simply a bolt in the top and the bottom of the shock. Then you've got the spring that's separate, and then obviously these are the collars that allow it to go up and down. And look, tuning art. This is tuning art. I'm not sure anyone classes TA Technix coilovers art. You can see the setup here. So it's the shock down there and the spring there, and you can see how it replaces it, right? So what you've really got to do first, drop the shock, top, bottom, both sides, out, in, replace it. What could possibly go wrong? First things one do, hidden behind this carpet, top mount. Easy. Let's go. That off, what you don't want to lose is this. This is exactly how it goes back on the top. You don't get those in the kit, so I'm going to keep those safe. Right, so they actually came out fairly easy. Bolts a bit tight, but no problem. That's the easy part, getting them out, but getting them back in equally, it's just with a reverse step. I mean, yeah, that's why I started on the rears, because I might be able to not mess this up. One thing I just noticed putting the top mounts back on at the back here is that the original nuts don't fit. So I was like, well, what's going on? Why don't they fit? Well, they didn't supply any. They did. They're actually just hidden in these little caps, little nylock number. So I'm gonna put that on. To get the ones off, it's a 14. It's a 14 at the bottom as well, nice and easy. These feel bigger, so they might be bigger. I'll soon find out. All right, let's go and get these on. So if anyone's stupid enough to buy TA Technix coilovers for their sweet, sweet ride, that's exactly where the nuts are. But if there are other brands, you know, like the wonderful BC Racing, that would provide some better coilovers for this, so I don't lose both of my lower vertebrae while I'm driving, I'm open to conversations. I would consider it. So look at it. So because these have the nylock at the top, they're actually a real pain in the arse to do up. You actually have to use an Allen key at the same time as, you know, whatever it is. So I'm going to use a ratchet spanner, an Allen key, and do these up properly. Like I said, the rears are way easier than the fronts. That was not a very big job at all. In fact, I'd say that that was probably one of the easiest suspensions I've ever changed on the rear of a car. I'm not really looking forward to the front, but let's get this down and let's see how this looks, and then we'll move to the front and see how much of a pain that is. You know, one of the main reasons I love just little shit boxes like this is because, I mean, anyone can work on them. Like anyone. Like, you can do any of this stuff at home, just like I am. Piece of cake. Parts are relatively inexpensive as well, you know, and you can just still have fun with them. And for me, doing stuff on cars is about not just having the satisfaction of doing it, but also having the satisfaction of, like, afterwards. You know, you can feel it, feeling a car getting slightly better, and just having fun with it. Sense of accomplishment. That's what I love. That is all tyre now. There is no... That's not suspension roll. That is literally fucking tyre roll. So for the first drop, I'm kind of okay with that. Could it go lower? Yes. But I'm not too bothered about it being, like, completely tucked. I'm not sure that that would be amazingly good. And I'm going to get, obviously, bigger wheels for it and arches to go on. So I might leave it like that for the moment. But first, move on to the fronts. The front setup's obviously different to the rear, but the frustration with the front, to access the top mounts here, you have to take this whole tray off, which means taking the wiper off. So you just got to pop this with a screwdriver, and that looks like a 13 to me. So let's get it taken apart. Now, the last one. Technically, we shouldn't have to worry about them, so I could just leave it there, just so I need to get access to that. I'm going to move these, though. I'm not going to count my chickens. Right, I need these as well. Don't know about the bolt, probably not, but I need this. So, I don't know about anyone else, but I just lose all my parts all the time, so let's keep them all together. Right, you can see these are all off now. Everything's cleared out the way. It took me probably about 20 minutes to get everything off this, so a bit of a pain in the arse, but not too bad so far. I now need to jack the car up, get it on stands on the front, and go about removing the strap from the bottom. With the wheel off down here, we can have a look at what we've got to play with. I've just sprayed this with WD because this is what we need to separate, and you've got like a pinch bolt, which is there. I think that's probably, I'm going to say a 17 as well. But if you look, brake pads aren't exactly great. What's the lip like? No, we're okay for disc, but we probably need some pads soon. Right, so this pinch bolt came off actually fairly easily. It's manky looking, but it came off pretty easily. The hard part now is prying open the pinch section and then hammering out the whole strut. So what I've done, I've just finger tighted the top mount back on, purely because when I'm hitting it, I obviously want it to pull out. So let's see if I can get this out. I'll put this somewhere safe. Fuck this, getting a big hammer. Done. Presenting the strut. Lovely. Right, let's look at the replacement. So let's look at which side is which. So this goes on like this. Collar, thing, nut, swing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a bit of molly grease bottom here. Hopefully make it easier to tap in. Right, so with the strut suitably lubed, I'm going to try and get it sheathed in the hole. And see how this goes, eh? The great thing about a shorter shock actually makes it a lot easier to get in because it can go in easier and you're not having to try and yank it out. I tried to set them. I have no idea how low it's going to be. We will soon find out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the jack up the hub. That'll pull it in. I mean, a lot easier to do the thing. You know what I mean. This should allow me to I think I'm in the right position. That side is finally back on. I was having a real mare with the top when I realised my mistake and what I did wrong, and I'll show you on the next one what I need to do. So it just wasn't pinching enough at the top. With it not pinching, I had to actually take off a part of this top mount and utilise that in that. Makes sense? Probably not. But I got to use my lovely machine that I've only used once before. Bonus. Repeat.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Oh my days, I think that nearly ended me. I don't know why that side was just so much worse. I haven't even got it on. I had to just get it out of the sleeve. And the last thing I wanted to do was take off all the ball joint and all of the fucking tie rod end to do that. That was what I was trying to avoid. But I got it off. This is what I ended up doing, which is like fucking jerry rig style. Look at it. Like to get it the last bit, it just wouldn't separate out, and I got it loads of the way. It was just this last final bit. I've taken the anti-roll bar off both sides to give it as much play as I could, and then I ended up just getting part of an axle stand and just wedging it under and jacking it up and then hitting it to try and get it out, and it just popped out. So honestly, that was a lot. That was a lot. So I'm hoping that this goes back together much quicker. I think I've learned a lot from that last side, so I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm just going to do the same as I did that side, but like just attempt to do it quicker. Jesus, I knew that this would, didn't I say, front one's always going to be a bit of a pain, always. Right, so now they are done. My God, you can see with the handprints and everything. That was easier once I actually got it off. Once I used my little janky little technique, I did it, that was fine, no problem. So now what we need to do is reassemble the trays. So I'm going to do that, and that shouldn't take me long, hopefully. I think as well, I've forgotten to put something on the top of the rear shocks, which means that there's a gap, which means they'll clunk, because I'm a fucking idiot. Because I was jumping up and down on the car and I could hear it clunking at the back basically, so I know that I fucked up. So I need to take something off the old shocks, put them over the sleeve, like they're almost like top mount, internal top mount. So I fucking need to do that. But I'm gonna put this tray, I've got like 20 minutes to finish, so I need to hurry up, so I've got to do it now. The front's down, like I said, I need to sort out the rear a bit. I'll show you the things that I've missed out, like they're like the dust covers, go over the top, but you can see like the amount they have at the top. So yeah, I need to now jack up the rear, take the rear shocks off, slot these on.
Many unbearable hours later.
You can see how dark it is now. Did not take me 15 minutes, clearly. You know that thing, I'm fucking covered in shit. I clearly misplaced something and then found it in my pocket, and that took me a long time. I've tidied the garage back up because you got to keep it clean now, because it's fucking clean. Put all the rubbish in one space, but it's done. It should be sorted, it should be fucking lowered. First and foremost, bask in the upgrades. Look at it. Excuse the dirt, she's very dirty now. Did I say she was very, very dirty now? But look how she is sitting. That is absolutely epic. The rear still needs to go down somewhat, so I need to do some rear work. But let me just show you around.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah. Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say, I got him picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitted for it, cause you all cap like. Excuse my number plate, apparently it wants to be leaving my vehicle. But look, can you appreciate how amazingly good that looks? Yes, it is a bit nose down. Yes, it needs a clean now, but at the same time, it also needs the other upgrades, which are the wide arches, and obviously as soon as the wide arches are on, I can then spec some wheels, because I'm going to need to cut a lot of the arch, a lot of the rear quarter. A lot needs to be cut out, but she's on. It's so much better. The handling is improved dramatically. The problem is now I have a little bit of scraping. The front is, I would say, probably a little bit too low. I like low, but we have contact. That's all I'm going to say there. So the front could probably do with coming up a little bit, and then the rear could do with going down a little bit. But I will work on that. That will happen. That is coming. And so now we have the exhaust. Now we have the suspension. Now we need wide arches. So there are some cosmetic changes that will be coming to this while I'm still trying to get these goddamn parts for the supercharger kit. I need these mounts. I need the brackets. So that is the thing I'm working on while I do all this other stuff. And if you like this sort of thing, this degenerate sort of behavior in stupid vehicles, there are more stupid vehicles. There are more road trips. I have a lot planned, but I want to do stupid things with vehicles. That's the whole point
aspect of this channel for me. It's not about enjoying cars. We can all enjoy these stupid cars, like you and I, like do stupid stuff with cars. We can all enjoy it. It's about doing stupid things with them as well, not just modifying them, but also I want to be able to start flipping some cars as well, because I would like to pay for these vehicles, but also taking cars on amazing road trips, because seeing the world is such an important thing to do. So if you like this sort of thing, don't forget to follow along, subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.